the answer to the problem here. He thought there was an army, because obviously the media informed him that was the case. There was about 300 members in the IRA. And if you just gather them up and just send them down south, that's it. And in his naivety, this guy came out with that statement. So that's what you're dealing with. You're dealing with people like, and don't get me wrong, but they're in the USA, like the question that I was asked from. Let's just go back. I'm actually in the chat room there now.
Yeah, I see you in the chat room. Good, welcome.
Yeah. Let's just see if I pick up that. There was something there. Who asked that question about the
Westies? That was Max. Max from New York.
Max. Oh, Max NY, is it?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, sorry, I'm not losing. Where was I? Yeah. You see, his knowledge of what's going on in my country is limited only because the information that he's given.
Richard, well, we're totally dumbed down by the press. I say they don't call television programming for nothing. They're only telling one side of the story. I try to tell both sides. That's why you're on my show.
Yeah. Well, I tell it as it is because I'm here and I know. You know, and like there's a Dr. DeCharge here. Is that his name? In the chat room.
Yes.
And he's put up that if you know what you're talking about, the masses will listen. And I just put up that's true. I do, and I do know what I'm talking about. Now he's just put up something there to say that we have a judge here and he's Irish, but we suspect he is mobbed up or arrested. Now we have judges here in this country, and we suspect that they're West Brits. You know, so.
Now, I want to let me just kind of go back for a second. I've told people in this country, our founding fathers, the George Washington, Thomas Jeffersons, the Benjamin Franklins, Adams, Hamilton, they fought the new world order of their day, and the sun never sets on the English Empire.
That's correct.
Now, when we talk about the Fed here, we're talking about the Rothschilds. The Rothschilds, international banking, the Bank of England, the Federal Reserve, you know, and of Italy, the central banks.
Yeah.
And to me, that is our biggest problem. But they were in power. The Rothschilds were in power since the French Revolution, for God's sake. They played both sides. They financed both sides to any conflict. And
right. Yeah.
You know, these are the real bad guys. And you know, there was no reason for the English or the French to be fighting the Germans or the Russians, except for the governments that were meddling in here, and the governments are controlled by the banksters. Now, when you look back at that, what our founding fathers fought were the Rothschilds in England, pulling the strings of English, using the English ships to come over here and conquer this land. So we still got the same problem today. Nothing's changed over the last 200 years, and probably not in the last 2,000. And don't we have the same enemy? I mean, when you're talking about the English being in Ireland, but the English are still here. They're still here in the form of the banksters or the Zionists. You know.
Yeah, they are.
And the Bolsheviks that took over Russia, those were Jews. You know, the biggest problems in the world right now are coming from the Jews in Israel and their treatment of the Palestinians, and they're trying to set us, and we're talking about all of the nations here, including Ireland and England. They're trying to set all of us Caucasians against Muslims.
Just a moment, I have a message here. from Doctor. Is it
Dr. Decharge, yep.
And he's saying now to oust the Illuminati from all world control forever. Why are you listening to Clay?
Well, I think what he's saying there is simply, I am fighting the Illuminati. I am fighting the New World Order. I am fighting world government. I am opposing that. And the people that are listening to me understand that.
Yeah. No, I just didn't understand the question.
I don't think there is a question. I mean, my goal is to oust the Illuminati, to set people all around the world free. I mean, to me, it's really a simple thing. Good and evil. It's good and evil. If you're taking care of your family, you're taking care of your country. You love your country. You love your family. Then and you're running it so it's profitable and beneficial to the people. Then you're the good guys. You're one of the good guys. If you're wanting to tax them, if you're wanting to disarm them, if you're wanting to keep them as subjects, if you want to keep them as peons, if you want to keep them as slaves, then you're the bad guys. You're the evil ones. And the problem that we got, Joe, is how do you fight evil without becoming evil? And this is what's happened. We've got the a brand of British Israel over here. It's called Christian identity. And they're saying, hey, us white folks, we crossed over into Germany, we went into England, we went into Rome, we were the Israelites. We crossed the Caucasus Mountains. We're the Israelites the Bible talks about. We went out and conquered the world. We brought Christianity to the rest of the world. And hey, I'm for that. I'm for that. I believe that you and I are the chosen people that God He assigned us. He gave us a way. The Bible is basically a guide to civilization, how to treat your fellow man.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what it is.
And the attacks right now. And I just put up a good film about the Zionist attacks on Christianity. The Muslims and the Jews are attacking Christianity, Christians, and they're doing it all over the world. Over the last 100 years, just 100 years, almost 1 billion people have died in wars around the world.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, my God, that to me, that means that we're practically, right now, in Armageddon.
Yeah, you see, as you said, it's actually, like, the people who are actually running this planet, right, are the guys with all the cash. So consequently, they have their way of sneaking up on people and creating this new world order without people knowing about it until it's too late. And it's certainly our job to prevent that, and I don't mean to try, it's our job to prevent it, stop it happening. Because if anything, my culture knows what control or to be controlled is about, because we were controlled like for 800 years. So it would be very difficult, I would imagine, to control the Irish in that sense, because we are all more or less tuned into our history. Whereas I think with other countries, and USA would be one of them, that your history doesn't go back far enough for the type of reference like that we would have. You understand?
Yeah, I understand perfectly. I understand perfectly, because that's why I wrote the book, The Mystery Babylon, the New World Order Unveiled, because our history, actually, you and I think, have a common history, and it goes back over 2,000 years.
Yeah. Yeah, you see, I spoke to you about our original laws